Hello and welcome to David's Daily Devotional. Today our text comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verses 28 through 30, where Jesus says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." You know, Christmas is often described as a joyful season, but for many of us, it's also deeply exhausting. There's a certain weight that comes with this time of year, the financial pressures of buying gifts, the emotional strain of family expectation, and the endless to-do list that seem to grow longer by the day. Maybe you're feeling that right now. You're trying to keep up with the demands, but deep down you're wondering how you're going to make it through without breaking under the pressure. In moments like these, Jesus' words in Matthew 11 feel like a gentle hand on a weary shoulder. He says, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." What an incredible invitation. Jesus doesn't tell us to find our problems and fix them or sort out our messes. He simply says, "Come." No matter how overwhelmed or inadequate we may feel, He welcomes us with open arms. In the context of this passage, Jesus was speaking to people who were burdened by the heavy demands of religion. The Pharisees had piled on rule after rule, making it nearly impossible for people to feel close to God. Their spiritual lives had become a constant striving, an exhausting effort to earn God's favor. But Jesus came and offered them something entirely different, true rest for their souls. Today, many of us carry similar burdens, though they may look a bit different. Some of us are worn out from the financial strain, especially during the holidays. The pressure to buy gifts, decorate our homes, and keep up with all the expectations can feel overwhelming. Others are emotionally weary, trying to meet everyone's needs while neglecting their own. And some of us feel spiritually distant, as if the busyness of life has just pushed God to the margins of our hearts. To all of this, Jesus says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me." A yoke might seem like a strange thing to offer someone who's already weary. After all, a yoke was used to guide oxen as they worked. But Jesus isn't offering us more work. He's offering us a new way to carry the load. His yoke is kind and perfectly fitted for us, and it's carried alongside Him. When we walk in step with Jesus, we find that His strength sustains us even in the busiest seasons of life. Jesus also said, "Learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart." Unlike the harsh demands of the world or even the expectations we place on ourselves, Jesus is gentle. He doesn't pile on guilt or shame. Instead, He invites us to trust Him, to rest in His care, and let Him guide us with compassion and love. So, what does that look like practically during the Christmas season? First, when it comes to the financial strain, remember that God's greatest gift, His Son, was given freely without cost to us. So Christmas isn't about how much we can spend, but it's about celebrating the grace that we've received. So set a budget that honors God's provisions and focus on giving gifts that reflect His love rather than trying to meet the world's expectations. Secondly, when the emotional strain feels too much, take time to pause. In the midst of your busy schedule, set aside a few minutes each day to sit quietly with the Lord. Pray, read His Word, or simply rest in His presence. It's amazing how even a brief moment with God can bring clarity and peace to a chaotic day. And then finally, when you feel spiritually distant, remember Jesus' promise. You will find rest for your souls. He's not asking you to fix yourself before coming to Him. He simply asks you to come. Meditate on Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 30, the rest of today and this week. And let these words soak into your heart and remind you of the rest that only Jesus can give. Christmas may be a busy season, but it doesn't have to be a burdensome one. Jesus offers us a different way, one marked by peace, grace, and the assurance that we are not alone. So today, let's bring our burdens to Him. Let's exchange our striving for His rest, our chaos for His peace. And as we walk with Him, we'll find that His yoke truly is easy and His burden is light.